In this video, I'm going to explain how I teach my clients how to be able to go out to eat on the weekends with the wife, how to be able to sit down at client luncheons and stay consistent within your food intake to not gain weight and to continue making progress and getting leaner. So my name's Adam Bono. I'm an online fat loss professional, and I help men around the world in high-level executive positions get in elite-level shape with metabolic priming, which is a process of metabolism manipulation. But with the program in general, there does come certain education that I do give my clients to overall adhere to the plan and to make it an overall lifestyle. So you have to understand, first of all, that I work with clients that are very busy, that have certain life occasions, like they travel for work, they have to sit down at client luncheons, the wife wants to go out to eat on the weekends, and I teach them how to do those things. And the reason why we want to teach these clients how to do these things is because that type of education and having that expectation of how your body works and how to navigate that is going to help you make progress and actually sustain it. Because everybody wants to get to the elite level shape, but they want to wait until they are least busy. Well, a lot of my clients, they're always busy. So learning the habits and learning these life scenarios and how to navigate those, you can create sustainability through actual education. That's exactly what we do all of our clients. But getting right into today's video, I want to explain how I utilize this strategy and how I teach my clients to do this. So the first thing you have to realize is what's called the 80-20 rule. So with our clients, I apply what's called the 80-20 rule. So we track macronutrients specific to the gram. We don't necessarily worry about tracking calories. But within that, we make sure to teach them how to track macronutrients, because once you start to understand protein, carbs, and fats and how they work in accordance with your overall nutrition protocol, you can have a lot more flexibility. You can eat what you want. But explaining this in full, we have to understand that the 80-20 rule means that 80% of the time, we should be eating whole organic food like chicken, rice, potatoes, beef, all the simple ingredient foods that are going to be healthy with micronutrients. But 20% of the time, when we do have those occasions, when we do have to have those certain work dinners that we can't get out of, we want to be able to apply a certain strategy that is not going to make us take a step back. It is going to help us stay on plan for longer. So the 80-20 rule means that 80% of the time, we should be eating whole, clean foods. 20% of the time, we can have a little bit more flexibility. So the number one thing you need to do, and what we teach our clients to do, is when you go out to eat with your family, friends and family, you want to plan ahead. Understanding macronutrients is the number one biggest thing, right? Understanding how food works, certain nutrition within food, and that is going to give you the overall sustainable approach that you want to have. But once you have that education, then we get into the actual strategy for it. So the number one thing you need to do first up is just plan ahead. When you go out to eat with your friends or family, plan ahead. Making sure that we plan ahead for the event will allow us to plan ahead for the dinner, correlate what foods we should eat before the dinner, and then have a good plan of approach for that dinner. So in a lot of cases, I have a lot of clients who sit down with other clients that they actually work with, and what I teach them is find a good place that has the macronutrients on the menu. For you guys who go out to eat with your wives, find a good place that has the calories on the menu. And that way that you can, one, track that first, right? You can look up online exactly the calories, the macronutrients of the specific restaurant that you want to go to, and then place that in your dinner selection at the very start of the day. And once you have that in place, then you can start to backfill the rest of your calories and macronutrients associated to what you need to eat for that day. So always make sure to plan ahead is the number one specific thing. If we can, choose exactly where we're going to eat, where we're going to sit down, and so we have a lot more control over what we do eat. So secondly, within this meal, when we're talking about macronutrients, like I said, my clients track specific macronutrients, protein, carbs, and fats. But plan B is always tracking calories. So you'll be tracking calories, you'll see that the protein, carbs, and fats, you might go a little bit over on calories. Well, that's specifically because insoluble fibers and sugar alcohols that don't necessarily count as a protein, carb, or fat add up in calories. So that's why we track specific protein, carbs, and fats. But in plan B scenario, when we don't know the macronutrients, we revert back to tracking calories. And the reason why this is because calories affect your weight, macronutrients affect how you look, and micronutrients affect how you feel. So Plan A is always tracking macronutrients because it's going to make you look the best. Plan B is tracking calories to make sure that we adhere and at least sustain progress. And then making sure that we choose where we go and backfill the rest of our food to prepare for that dinner. So if we don't know what to choose, step 2 is we're just going to call it a calorie bank, right? Which just means, let's say that dinner is 2,000 calories, but you're allocated 3,000 calories for the day. That means that those extra 1,000 calories should be a lot more protein focused, lower the fats, and lower the carbohydrates. Because the food that you eat at restaurants is inadvertently going to have more carbohydrates and more fat in it. So protein being a harder macro molecule to get in, if we focus on those 1,000 calories being strictly just protein, then we can go into that dinner and we know what we're going to eat. And even if we don't, we try to stay within that 2,000 calorie range. With that being said, if you do not know the calories on the menu, here's what I want you to do. So when you go to a meal, the first thing at the restaurant, when you're looking through the menu, you want to choose something that's relatively lower in calories, lower in fats, and lower in carbohydrates. We all know the difference between good foods and bad foods, very high carbohydrate foods, and foods that are high in protein. It's pretty simple. So when you do that and you order that food, ask the waitress if you can cook it neat without any oil. So let's say, for instance, you go to a restaurant and they have duck breast and Brussels sprouts with potatoes on the menu. So first thing you want to do is ask the waitress, hey, do you care to cook that in no oil for me, please? And 100% out of the time, they're going to say yes. That's their job, right? And so now that we have the meal that we're going to choose, we chose a protein-focused meal, a little bit of carbohydrates, which isn't too bad, and then we chose a side which is like mostly vegetables. So within that meal, before the food even gets there, make sure to drink enough water, fill yourself up a little bit first, and only choose one meal. Do not go back and choose a second meal. Do not go back and choose two meals, but choose just one singular meal and just enjoy that, right? And so now that we want to ask the waitress to cook it in low oil, we have our meal plan coming. Once it gets there, I want you to use the palm of your hand to see how big the actual meal is. So the palm of your hand will equate to about 4 ounces. So now that we got our food, the protein's cooked in low oil, what we want to do is search on MyFitnessPal or whatever app you're using, what specifically food that you got. For instance, like duck breast, right? So we got duck breast, it's about palm and a half, so about 6 ounces. And just put as a placeholder, duck breast, 6 ounces into your food tracking app so we have a placeholder. Same thing applies with the potatoes that you order. Same thing applies with the veggies you order, right? So this structure will at least have you a placeholder for what could potentially be how much calories that would be. And this will give you actual good gauge, and so you're not going well over on that dinner, but you're having at least a good structure approach to keep you consistent. So with that being said as well, I want you to make sure to order a protein-focused meal. Little carbohydrates is fine, but make sure to order a good amount of veggies with it. Veggies is a great source because it's going to be high in fiber and it's going to fill you up and it's going to satiate you. So these specific mechanisms are going to allow you to, one, within the water, fill up, get a structure and kind of a gauge on how many calories, how many protein, carbs, and fats that you're eating, and enjoy that dinner having good clarity that you have a good structure and something that applies within that box in that range of where the calories could be, so you have a good gauge of what you're actually eating, right? So the expectation we give our clients as well is like, yes, this could be perfect. You could track duck breast, potatoes, Brussels sprouts, and it could be, 2,000 calories, and you still might go up in weight. The reason that is because, yes, it's going to be still a little bit higher in fats. It's going to be macronutrients that aren't really associated. Your body might not be used to food at restaurants, and you might gain a little bit of weight from digestion-related symptoms or overconsumption and a little bit of the fat. And so having that expectation, we know the next day we don't need to go and do a bunch of cardio. We don't need to lower our food. We just need to get right back on plan with tracking those specific macronutrients, protein, carbs, and fats, and your body will fluctuate back very quickly. So the expectations that we set for our clients with understanding how the body works is extremely important because we set the frame of how your body's going to respond and what to do next. There's too many guys out there that gain 2, 3, 4 pounds and then go and do a bunch of cardio after and go and lower their food. And now your nutrition's like this, your digestion's like this, and your body's also fluctuating as well because there's an inconsistency within your overall nutrition plan. So having that certain expectation that it's not going to be perfect, we're going to get as close as we possibly can, but we're going to enjoy the time we have, and we're going to learn how the expectation of our body is going to work the next day and how to get back on track. I teach this exact same process with each and every single one of my clients. We just had a client go on vacation to Hawaii for 2 weeks, and he came back the exact same weight. And so if you like these type of videos, like, comment, and subscribe. Be present at your next dinner. Be present at your next client sit downs, but also have the structure to be able to do these type of things, because this is important to know, because it's not going to be the last time you ever go sit down at work, you go out to eat with the wife, but understanding this education and the expectations on your body is going to help you make this progress sustainably long term with with the everyday lifestyle that you want to have. So if you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, turn the bell notifications on, because on Wednesday, I'm going to be doing a full outline on the strategy we use for vacation planning, which is going to be a great video. Do not miss it. Comment, subscribe, and turn the bell notifications on so you get my notification for this next video.